The wolf begins to circle the boy. Claws of black steel, fur as dark night, eyes glowing red, jewels from the pit of hell itself.
Watching a clip like this awakens something primal within man. It pushes him to ask himself, what would it be like to live in the wild? What would nature ask of me to survive? What does nature ask of me now? What does it really mean to be a man? I know I didn't have a solid foundation of what manhood looked like, neither did my dad nor his dad. This is generational. The very structure of our society is based on how able we are as parents to answer this question for our children. I grew up in a culture where the man brought the bread, saw women as something to be conquered, and got drunk to have fun. If we look at our current culture as a whole, there are telltale signs that many men do not know the answer to this question. Divorce is at an all-time high. The phrase toxic masculinity is thrown around like men with instruction manuals, and there are a lot of alphas that are anything but alpha.
A girl tells you I'm spiritual or insists on knowing what your sign is or backpacked across the world by herself. She 1000% belongs to the streets. That means that she was getting a lot of action, but that's not a chick you want to settle down with, guys. Don't be stupid.
I didn't start asking myself these questions until college, when I moved out of my parents' place and started going to school and paying for my own bills. And I handled this transition pretty well. I got a scholarship, had a job, and read up on everything that I could that could help me to be a better student. I had good grades, I was doing pretty well. But there was just this one thing that really got me thinking, and that was girls. You know, as the man Jordan Peterson said, women have a way of making men self-conscious.
The primary role that women have in relationship to men is to make them self-conscious, and men don't precisely like that. There's nothing that will make a man more self-conscious than being rejected.
And looking back, I went to a small high school. There weren't many opportunities for me to be crushing on someone. Most of my free time was actually taken up by playing video games. So you can imagine, once I entered college, I felt like I was in a movie. Never in my life had I felt the need to step my game up. You know, I would often fantasize about being able to walk up to some girl in the street and just tell her that I thought she was cute. For me, I thought it meant something. Like if I wasn't afraid to speak my truth. It would just be a fantasy though. I would rather go back home and watch YouTubers do it themselves. I remember sitting for hours just looking at tapes of guys going up to girls and asking for their number. I would watch RSD videos and they would talk about the masculine frame, and I thought it was dope because I was able to take notes on this and really play psychologist here. Okay, so if their feet are pointed that way, it means that they are interested in you. Ah, so that's the choosing signal. Oh, make sure to keep your chest up and be masculine. Make sure your body is at an acute angle to her body. I was analyzing the heck out of people and it didn't make any sense in hindsight. But all of this to me was preparing me for the real world. I was finally going to be able to embody the energy of a man. So after months of watching and overanalyzing simple human interaction, I was able to hit up one of my friends and ask him if he was down to go up to random girls and just spark up some conversation. He and I had talked about it for a while and we both wanted to get over our fear of rejection. I hit him up 3 days in a row, but he was apprehensive. So I decided to go out on my own. And it was pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty bad at human interaction back then. And looking back now, I sometimes just cringe at how bad I was. But I went through it and I got used to it. I overcame my fears. I was able to go up to any girl and just tell her what I thought. And I even ended up showing some of my friends how to do it. Either way, I felt like I leveled up in life. Like I was getting closer to becoming the man I needed to be. And fast forward a few months, I'm in salsa class and I have ample opportunity to meet girls. I'm dancing, I'm learning some new tricks, I'm picking up some new skills, and I'm feeling more confident. And then I meet this girl, right? She was cute and a lot of the guys liked her, but I was the only one who asked her out. We were dating. And things were going pretty well for a few months until I asked her to be my girlfriend. And then things just changed into an emotional roller coaster. I was up and down, left and right. I didn't know where I was at. It just felt like she liked me and then she didn't like me. She was interested and she wasn't interested. And it was just this thing where I didn't know what to do. I felt helpless. I felt inadequate. I felt like I wasn't being the man that I was aiming to be. And scrolling through YouTube one day, I watched one of my favorite YouTubers' videos, Elliot Holtz, and he starts talking about being a man. He mentions things such as the warrior, the king, the magician, and the lover. And this sounded intriguing for me because I had never heard about this before. Elliot explained that these archetypes lie within us all, and that the key to becoming a man really lies within ourselves through the expression of all of these archetypes. I wondered what it all meant, and so I just took a deep dive into it. And here's what it is. Robert Moore, a neo-Jungian, talked about the archetypes that live within us all: the king, warrior, magician, lover. constructed the psyches of a man. He explained that the shadow side of all of these archetypes would depict an immature individual. Maturity depended on how well people were able to develop these archetypes, and manhood was maturity. So I finally looked into myself, and things were revealed to me. The emotions I felt through this roller coaster ride were represented by the lover within me. And if I were to ask the lover what it meant to be a man, he would say, indulge in the pleasures of life. Allow yourself to open up to life and experience emotions, experience pain, and experience pleasure. There are too many men who close themselves off and cannot feel anything for life anymore. They forget about the fullness within the moment. I then thought about courage and how that related to being a man. And then the warrior came out. And he said, make sure to be disciplined, have boundaries, and be courageous. You must be aggressive with your goals, or else you will live up to nothing. And looking deeper into myself and into the habit of overanalyzing and overthinking, I saw the magician quite clearly. And he said, your mind is a sacred space. Study and meditate. Your life is full of wisdom, and you must look for it in the moment. And I was just wondering, I kind of already inhabited all of these energies, but why did I fail in my relationship? And so the king appeared, and he said, failure is non-existent with a vision. Those who look to embody me are those who lead without fear and provide the stability necessary to sort through the chaos that life is and make it into a kingdom. And throughout my struggles, I feel like I found the answer to being a man. I just look back and think about these 4 archetypes and how they play out in my life and how I embody them myself. I look at how well I've developed them and how well I'm using them and expressing them, and I can understand exactly where I want to go and where I need to go. These archetypes live within us all, and if you were to just look inwards, you'll be able to understand yourself at a deeper level. You won't need to seek validation or seek any answers from outside of you when they lie inside of you. Once you get a good grasp of these concepts, you'll be able to be the man that you need to be. You'll understand what it means to be a king, a warrior, a magician, and a lover. And that will be what will empower you through any situation. But before you get to that spot, it is imperative that you learn how to look within. So that is why you should watch this video down below on how to meditate, so you can start doing that right now.